Greenville is a great place, not only to be, but to be from. I'm born and raised here, went to local schools, Malden High School, go Mavs, went to Winthrop University for college, and when I graduated in 1999, came right on home because I knew Greenville was where I wanted to be. It's where I wanted to live. It's where I wanted to raise my family. It's where I wanted to be around my family. I have 4 generations of family, all from Travelers Rest down to Fountain Inn area. They just span the gap there. And so Greenville is definitely near and dear to my heart. I got into real estate in 2009. My husband and I had been investing in real estate, rental properties, for a couple of years at that point, and I decided to make a change in my career and go into real estate. 2009 was a challenging time, folks. We were in a housing crisis and nobody wanted to buy because they couldn't get loans and they were insecure about they had jobs. And then on the selling side, you had people who were either underwater or they were losing their houses completely. And it was just a very challenging time, but it was a great teacher, as adversity always is. And I did extremely well with that and have continued to grow that success for the last decade that I've been doing this. And when I hear people say they love looking at houses and that's why they want to go into real estate, I cringe, I'll be honest. Looking at houses is a very, very small part of the transaction. It's about 5% of a 100% process here. And so you have to really love people because you're going to see the best of people and the worst of people. And that's not to scare you. It's just to highlight that you are, as a buyer or seller, in an unknown territory. A lot of times this is a first-time seller or a first-time buyer. You could be a first-time getting out of an apartment. There's lots of unknowns for you, and home is a refuge. It's a place where you should feel settled, that you have. Now you're unsettled because you're either moving or you're selling. You're not sure where you're going next. There's all these timetables, and that's where your real estate agent really comes in and where I come in to help. I'm dealing with the knowns where you're dealing with the unknowns. This whole process is what I live and breathe daily. So I know the pitfalls. I know things can go really well. I know what happens when things don't go quite the way you want them to. If A doesn't happen, you pivot to B and you make it work. And you need someone who is fully invested in the transaction as a whole person. They need to have your best interest at heart always. I work with buyers and sellers. I have no preference over one versus the other. They're all people. It's all a good transaction usually. And I've worked with a lot of relocation folks over the years. And that is a lot of fun because you're having someone who doesn't know anything about your town or where you live, and you're bringing them in and you're showing them the things to love about Greenville, and you're showing them things they may not hear or see because they're not native here, so to speak. I think that this business is first and foremost customer service. I do not see real estate as a sales business. As a customer service business, if I'm doing everything I need to do for you and putting your needs and wants first and doing the best job I can to get you what you need for your family, then lasting relationships come of that. And I'm happy to say that most of my clients, I call friends first now and clients second, which is really, really great. And I'm very, very appreciative of it. Last but not least, a little personal information about me. I am a wife of 20 years. My husband is also a local. We met before I went to college, dated through college, and then got married. We are dog mom and dad and cat mom and dad. We are Tiger fans, go Clemson Tigers. We try to spend every fall tailgating with my sister and brother-in-law and nephews and warming the seats in Death Valley when we can. Sometimes that's a challenge because I got to work, but my husband, he's there for every game. And last but not least about me personally, I am an avid lover of all things alternative health. I personally have done a lot of different modalities. I've read a lot of things, and it's a passion of mine to help people through my own health struggles that I've had to get better through natural means as much as possible. So now that you've met me and learned about me, I can't wait to meet you. Thanks so much for spending this time with me.